Anybody who doesn't remember a former teacher is an ungrateful person indeed. Welcome again this week. In my last episode, we ended at the year 2016, and I think I showed it to viewers. I realized that the book was getting finished, so you can see how I cramped things up here. I tried to make use of the smallest space available, and this is a 2016. Then after that, I opened. Let me see. I opened and I saw that the next date was not 17, but rather 14, but rather 2014. This is it. Yes. So from 2016, I should have gone to 2017, but it wasn't to be. It was rather 2014. Then I went further and I saw that I actually started my notes, my journal, somewhere in the middle, and not at the beginning. So when I got to 2014, I then came back to look, and I saw that no, I should have started somewhere in 2009. I should have started somewhere in 2009, which I left behind. So we'll go back to 2009. That was shortly after I was employed. Remember, I was employed December 2007. And even this note, I didn't have it until around 2009, thereabout. So let's go back and see. Yes, 2009. And let's see, the date that I have here is Wednesday 18/2/09. Yes, it's quite some time, so I might not be able to remember everything in detail, but there will be an idea of what happened. People will know what happens in our workplaces. You just stand outside and look at the building and you think everything is normal there. No, there is a lot of infighting and lack of organization in them. Let's see, Wednesday 18/2//2/09. Shafao Alasan, female, 20, questioned pregnancy test by Rafik. And Rafik was a junior worker, maybe health extension worker, because he was in questioned pregnancy test by Rafik. The patient was Shafao Alasan, a female patient, 20, that's F/20. A question pregnancy test by Rafik. Pregnancy test was done for her by Rafik. Supposed to occupy, the number of the patient was supposed to be 124 in the cash book, but appears as 195. So I went and checked the cash book. The number is supposed to be 124. He took it further to 195. Remember, I said the accountant was the one who supplied the receipt books to them. And look at how they were behaving. So you are in the lab wanting things done in the right way, but somebody outside the lab who has nothing to do with hospital has power to do anything they like. So appears as one of in pregnancy test record book. Instead of 124. Why? Why do you take the? Do you jump over and give him a number that we haven't gotten to yet? So thinking that nobody will check. So you have a lot of problem if you want to check that everything goes right. Friday, that was 8th. Then I don't know if I skipped Thursday or nothing happened. There was no event that day. Then Friday, 20th to yes, I think I complained to a friend, an elderly person, about what is happening in the lab. And a certain Malam. And what does he say? He's called Alaji something. He says, I quote, I came and put it in my diary. He says, for God's sake, leave them. He said, for God's sake, leave them to carry on and stay out. That was his advice to me. For God's sake, leave them to carry out what they are doing and stay out. So how do I stay out if I'm in charge? That's the question. I complain about all sort of, let me say money laundering going on in the lab. It is the advice he gave me. They are in the community and don't know what happened. Say, for God's sake, leave them alone to carry on and stay out. Like I repeat, how do I stay out? So apparently, everybody knows what goes on there, but nobody says anything. Then Wednesday, March 4th, 2009, I was reported by my youth employment worker subordinate to the accountant. Then I think also administrator for spying on them. That what they mean by spying is that checking that everything is all right. Oh yes, pregnancy, I'll come and ask, where is your receipt? They will say no. And that's what they mean by spying. So they rather went behind me, I being there in charge, and went and reported to the accountant, the bigger thief. Let me say so, because he should have been supporting me. Went and reported me for spying on them. And what by I use the word spying, and that word spying means that I check them too much. And like the Alaji said, I said, leave them alone. But I can't. By nature, I can't. If you leave them alone, it means you are with them. You see how people draw people to do evil. But if I were among them, chopping, giving, doing tests without recording, without giving receipts, I would have been the best. I would have been the best. I would have been a very lovable person. No good bachow. You see. So I was reported by, okay. Then Wednesday, March 4th, 2009, I have in my record here, I went to the bank and I was surprised to see increased amount of money in my salary. And then later on, it appeared that they were arrears. When you're employed, first, you don't get what you are supposed to get. They accumulate them and then after they pay them. They pay them to you. And after collecting these things, like I usually say, you then go out to cheat patients. You see, then to steal things. This is legitimate money. They accumulated my money and gave it to me. When I went to the bank, I was surprised about it. So I take it. Then I go back to the lab and then do pregnancy tests without receipt, without even register. What sort of mind has God given me? Am I on guidance? And so you face lots of problems if you want to remain on guidance. Pardon me. Yes, a patient by called Kofi Nunyanyo, I think it's the Togolese, came to the lab, and I detected that that was on Monday or Tuesday, February 23rd or 24th. Lab report giving him without number, name, date, or signature or receipt. You see what I mean? Lab report giving him without number, name, date, or signature or receipt. And they forget that these monies are going to help everybody. You see, no record at all. Goes back Thursday, February 26th for receipt. Receipt given by Atik, dated February 26th. So the test was done on February 23rd or thereabout, either 23rd or 24th. But because there was no receipt, he rather gave the receipt against February 26th, 3 or 4 days later, because I had to force him to give the receipt. This is what they mean by spying on them and worrying them. Like I said, the word spy is my own word. And so you see, you can't fix. It's very difficult to fix in a situation. And then I said I was okay with the monies I had, and still they cut my salary. Let me use the word cut like that, and left me suffering. But it's okay. God knows best. Okay. Then, when my money came, I said I had money by surprise. When my money came, I decided to get a number of plots in Tamale as mortgage. What do I call it? As a guarantee of safety, so that I know I have something. I won't just chop the monies like that. I went and got 4 plots. And the fellow who led me to get it is called Alassane Fuseni. He was a senior of mine, and I used to respect him very much. But it's been a long time. When I met him, I trusted him. We went and I got the 4 plots of land. So if anything, when I'm broke, maybe I can sell 1 or 2 or something like that, so that my money doesn't go waste. It turned out that he and the chief, the sub-chief of the land, in charge of the land, let me say that he can't be unaware of it. Were giving me, dealing with plots that doesn't belong to them. So, plots discussed with Sahana, and he now has a chieftaincy title called Sahana. He's alive, and I believe he's hearing or he's viewing this episode. See, 4 plots of land discussed with Sahana, and like I said, this is not stolen money. This was arrears that had been paid to me in the bank, like I read earlier, so that they won't go waste. Instead of me to leave them at the bank, I decided to invest that money on land, 4 plots. And then they were labeled plot 4, plot 5, plot 6, and plot 7. They were somewhere on the way to Kumasi. When you are entering Tamale from Kumasi, a place called Kakpaile. Kakpaile. When then the 4 plots was shown to me. Later on, I got very surprised because when we went to the plot, somebody came with a knife and clapped something around the neck. I said, what kind of thing is this? Without knowing that the fellow suspected that the plot was being sold to me, and Sahana was dodging somehow. I don't know. I was lucky he didn't clap me to death. Then, and each plot at that time cost 540 cedis. So times 4, making 2,160 cedis. Payment for 4 strips of gravel, yes. Then I also gave money for 4 trips of gravel. And at that time, each trip was, no, the 4 trips cost 120 cedis. So the cost of the 4 plus was 2,160 cedis, and the 4 trips cost 120 cedis. Then the total came to 2,280, all paid. All paid. I paid all to Sahana. I know he will be. Maybe he didn't know I was recording this things. All paid to Sahana. Somewhere below my fingers, after the empty space there. Then Thursday 5/3, I was absent when Zugulana came to West Hospital to me, leaves message. Zugulana is a chief. He was a chief at a place called Zugu. And why did I have to see him? Family members caused confusion. A plot of land in Nyampala it's not a plot of land. It was actually a building that my dad used to rear animals, and then as a grinding mill. The rooms as grinding mill, and then the yard as a place for animals. Due to the fact that I wasn't at home and my half siblings, another people, the thing collapsed. I don't know where the zinc and other wood materials went. I went and it was empty space. So tell me, viewers, does it mean that it's a plot, it's an empty plot? No. Because there is evidence, even though not on record, that the place was actually a building. Then the main house, when my father died, was left to my siblings, who did nothing to help me, but rather stealing from me. They stole until he remained a pauper. And so they occupied the main house, and I said, okay. And before actually dying, when I was a small boy, he told me he was giving this land to me. People were there. So I left this land forcefully. I was there. I was by him. Like King Solomon was by David when he was going about his affairs. And like I said, we don't buy land. In those days, we didn't buy land. I saw him. He filled a calabash with kola nuts, and he put some money on top. I was there. I think 4 pounds. But that was extraordinary. Normally, it doesn't happen. He went and gave the chief. And the people in Nyampala said, but the plot, he has bought it. Look at the money he went and gave to the chief. He has almost bought it. You see, but my father was doing government work, like I say, under the colonialists, so he was getting mouthless. So the colonels were okay, but the money I don't know. We put on top and went and gave to the chief. And then people were lamenting, but he's almost bought the plot. He has almost bought it. And it was a house by then. I think he demolished it and built newly with mud, not cement or anything. He's almost bought it. Then he told people, I've reserved this house for Sule. And it's an agreement that I should not take it alone. Or whatever I have to share it with my junior sister, Fatih. Because he was supposed to take care of my grandma, whom I loved very much and who loved me very much. So he told my sister, don't bother. You take care of grandma. If anything at all, always consult Sule. He will help you. And so it's in my head. If I'm taking that plot, let me call it plot now, I wouldn't take it alone. I have to share it with Fatih. But due to the problems I faced when I was looking for a job in the Ghana Health Service, the problems that Joe Larry gave me, I was wretched. I had no food. I was begging for food, roaming about. So I looked like a crazy person. Then people took advantage of it. They went to see this Zugulana. They went to Nyankpala to look for the plot. Let's call it plot now. But it's weird because it's not a plot. All that you have to do is to go and build. And they cause confusion. And they didn't tell me. Just a day before going, they told me we are going to Nyankpala to see, from Tamale, we are going to Nyankpala to see about the plot. When I went with them, they even got angry with me because they said the fellow who was contesting for the plot, I went and sat by him. But yes, we were childhood friends. He was my senior and he loved me very much. But that doesn't mean that I'm siding with him. Based on that, they even removed me from my home. You see, from my room that was reserved for me in Tamale. And so I had to rent a place. My friend Ayambiri, like I said, helped me to remove my things from the family house into a rented place. And my sister doesn't have good mind because, like I said, he didn't take mother's milk. Oh, she didn't. My dad used to buy peak milk, P-E-A-K, to feed her. And my dad was a very funny person. Anytime she finished milk, he would put it into a drum. And then my dad told me 2 drums were full. 2. So 2 drums were full. And when it's very full, it's not water level. They mount it until they are falling down. Then he goes to and said 2 drums were full. So he didn't have the sense of a normal person, but that of a cow. And the family members used to insult her. He said, as for Fatih, she's a ewe. She's an ewe. I think the opposite of ram is ewe, if I'm mistaken. As for Fatih, she's an ewe or a ram. Okay, let's say they use for ragu. It's the same thing. And so she didn't have money. And they managed to convince her to go and take the plot. Maybe thinking that I would die or I was crazy. But I wasn't. Then, when we went to the chief place, it was not necessary at all. It was not necessary. Because, like I said, all you have to do is go and build because everybody knows it was a building. So, later on, people then went to this Zuglana to look for that, to claim that plot. People are new. And I couldn't understand. But when they went, that Zuglana rather asked for me, where is Sule? Because he knew me. He was in Nyankpala with the Nyankpala chief. When my dad went and greeted them with the money, he was aware of it. So when I went later, the chiefs there in Nyankpala asked me to go and see him. And so I had to go and see him. He knew the plot. I was the legitimate owner of the plot. So this is true. Yes. And so it was supposed to be my bona fide property. Up to now, the plot is there. They couldn't build because Zuglana would tell them. I went to Zuglana several times. He too wanted to be extorting small monies from me. You know, these chiefs. Until later on I heard that he's dead. But the plot is still there. And so this is the confusion. I think as we read on, I managed to look at a few pages before coming to do this video. Let's see. Monday 9th, I was in Zuglana to come back traditionally to pay homage to Zuglana for the legacy of land in Nyankpala. I don't know what I wrote here. I don't know if it's legacy or something like that. Okay. Then, like I said, concerning the 4 plots of land, on Tuesday 10/3, 7 a.m., Sahana introduces me to Slim Bomana in his house for the collection of land papers. So after this senior, whom I respected very much, took me to the sub-chief Slim Banana to collect the papers. What are papers? Hmm? What are papers? Uh, for collection of land papers. Tuesday. Oh, I don't know. This is short rain, drizzle, wind, whatnot. I used to write them. So if you call me crazy, I think you are right. Like I said, anytime that I run through, I will run and note it down. And I think that's what made me to be able to jot these things. So even rainfalls, wind, no wind, rain with wind, no wind, sudden rain, what I will write them. I don't know. So like I said, if you call me crazy, I think I will accept it. Uh, so short rainfall, drizzle, uh, Tuesday, short rainfall 11, drizzle 11 in the night, heavy rainfall, rendering parts of Tamale powerless. I don't know why I was writing these things. Anyway, I did them anyway, and I have to admit it. Okay. Yes. On Thursday 12, I checked the correct entry times in the book. People will come, somebody will come at 9 and go and clock 8. It's happening. It's still happening. And people will look away because they chop monies together. The whole system is corrupt. I thank Dr. Professor Akusan. I repeat what he said. The Ghana Health Service is as sick as the patients it's supposed to take care of. This is a good director general. He's been in the system all along till he rose to the level of director general. And he wrote this. In other words, he himself even couldn't help the situation. So what about an entity like Sule? You see, he can't. Because he has no power to fire. No power at all, except that he's a senior worker. They asked him, he said, no, he can't. He has no power. So, Professor Kosa, thank you. And I remember him very much because I traveled and came back. I even forgot the name. Then a friend of mine called Abuga told me, no, you know him. You should know him because he used to come to the blood bank, hematology department, especially, and microbiology especially, to collect results. He had finished his housemanship and he was going around looking for results of patients. Especially when there is an emergency, there is no time to wait for lab. If you send a specimen to the lab for culture and sensitivity, it will take at least 3 days, depending on the kind of test and the kind of specimen. So they will first of all give the antibiotics, and then from to check later to see if the antibiotics were correct or not. So he was always on his toes. He was always there at the microbiology department, then blood bank where they give blood to needy patients. Okay, so I thank him very much. He said it. The Ghana Health Service is as sick as the patient is supposed to take care of. He said this somewhere after 2014 or thereabout. Because anybody does what he likes. Imagine junior workers, health extension workers, we used to call them. And you remember I said that Brahama made this his duty to distribute them and selecting 9 single girls to his office and giving the pharmacy pregnant women, old women, unattractive, you know. And he was giving these people the receipts to do those things. So directly or indirectly, he was behind them. And some of them told me even monies that receipts have been issued for, he choplaced them. Nigerians will say choplace, he can chop them. I don't know. You see him looking at cars and houses. What for? Okay, Thursday, I check correct entry times in attendance book. Saturday. Then Saturday 14:3, I go to see the plots of land about 2 p.m. All corners of plot 4 had been marked with about 2 layers of bricks and cemented earlier that day. So, like I said, the plot didn't belong to Slim Bomana, as Sahana made me to believe. I saw that some people went. After I went there, they went and also marked plot 4. So, in other words, Sahana only wanted to collect my money. 4 plots in the straight line. Then one of the plots, they went and put bricks there to demarcate the ends. So, in other words, 2,160 cedis gone plus other expenses. No, the total was 2,280 cedis, all paid, gone for nothing. I remember when I went to Sahana to look for the plot, he even insulted me, calling me slave. Yes, slave. And it's slave because why? He is the Gumba and my dad is Wala. And they used to think that Walas were slaves. So slavery did not begin with the white man. It was there among blacks. Yes. So why blame the white man? They came and discovered us. So calling me slave. Well, later on he died. I think he wanted to kill me to have his plots and have the money. He can't refund the money back to me. Later on, I saw that the son, Yakubu, was putting up a new building somewhere with my money. I chased and then nothing happened. I went to the register. We had to be taken to court. They were taken to court and they had to refund my monies for me. But they couldn't. They had to auction the house, their old building, to pay my money for me. It never went through. I chased and chased and chased. The registrar at the court there, district court in Tamale, was called Ishaku. I chased. He got one auctioneer, Orlando, if I remember. Orlando blamed the Sahana, the chiefs. He said, this is what they do. They have a lot of problems. He said they will cause problems here and there. He said it to me. Then later on, I went again, and Orlando told me, no, he has washed his hands off the case. So you see, they saw him or he was afraid of them because they could do anything. So he washed his hands. I went to see the registrar, Isako, and he told me, no, since then I haven't gotten another auctioneer for the house. And that was all. The money went. All the money went for 4 plots. I chased and chased and chased and chased. So all the money went. However, Sahana, the Slim woman, died later, like I said. I believe he wanted to kill me, and God didn't agree. May God have mercy on me for saying these things publicly if I'm wrong. I always pray to God for forgiveness. I believe he wanted to, because I had taken 2,000 money that he hadn't seen. Even Sana, when I gave him the money, he said, no, I've not seen this money before. So he wanted to kill me. And then he died. But then, now the period is gone. Like the lawyers say, there is a time limit within which you can do. So if Sahana is dead, it's okay. That's God's intervention. No, not Sahana. Slim Bomana is dead. That's God's intervention. Like I say, as for Sahana is alive and he might be viewing this, and he knows it's the truth I am telling. He knows the truth in it. I go to see plots of land at about 250. All corners of plot 4 had been marked with. Okay, let's see. Wednesday 18th/3 2009 quarterly meeting of managers, departmental heads. Departmental heads, and I was one because I was in charge of the lab. I don't know what happened there. Thursday 19th, I gave a query to Atik, the health extension worker who was giving receipts to people for payments. That was 19th/3. Then and then Thursday 26/3, Mr. Yabiri gives me a calendar. I went to his office and he had calendars there. He gave me one and I came to put it. So if you say I'm crazy, you are right. But I think I was doing these things to remember events. Yes, it was not for nothing. For instance, if that day something happened or sometime around that something happened, I can remember, I can relate to events, two happenings, something like that. So I wasn't that crazy, maybe half crazy. Okay, Sunday 29, rain from about 11 p.m. resulting in cool weather. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yes, here Tuesday 3/31/1. The cleaner Abiba cleaned the place, swept, and did mopping. And I said, "What about the toilet?" She said she's not supposed to clean the toilet. Simple. Tuesday 31st March, Abiba declares she's not supposed to clean the toilet. So they had a lot of power. People working under you have more power than you because of hearsay. They hear lots about you. Because the accountant doesn't like me, the administrator, Obinga J was different. He was different. He was the one who told me, give them queries. You see? So, and the other people, Joe Larry in particular didn't like me, and he was the head of the lab. And he made sure that everybody in Ghana Health Service in the northern region disliked me. Yes. So they didn't bother me. So when things are happening, you know that at the top, things are rotten from top. When you come to Ghana and you see politicians fighting, it's not for nothing. You will come to see that nothing will go on right. No. Oh, they are fighting. They will also fight. They will do whatever they like. They don't have time to go and check things or to come down to the level of the people on the ground and check things. No. Most of the time they spend in fighting. You see? Okay, I kept on going to Zugu to see Zugulana and whatnot, who is now late. Going back to Nyankpala and the plots, we met, myself, my senior brother Audu, who is of a different mother, who was fighting my father until he was removed from the house. He was smoking weed, misbehaving, and my father sacked him from the house. So he didn't even count him among his children. Then, like I said, when they saw I was useless, we should meet. We went, and I don't know, surprisingly came from somewhere. The Mongo, they had informed him without informing me, except the last day that there was informed me. When I went, he was sitting there. And then my junior brothers with a different mother, like I said, they were stupid. They were all sent to school. They can't read anything. Like their grandfather. My father is a woman's man. He went to farm in a place called Balaga and for the farm, and they said, "We will give you a wife," and he collected it. What was I've forgotten the name. I think Salamatu. Yes. So hopeless, no reason. I refused to call her my mom. My father used to beat me. See, And the father was also a drunkard. And so the children were all like that. He sent all of them to school, but now nobody can write anything. So I went to them, and when my dad died, I brought out a box. They brought out a box, and I looked and I saw the paper of the house plot, and I took it. The day we met, Isa, whom my father didn't know, he knew only the mother, asked for the paper of the plot, and I gave to him. I made a mistake, but I didn't know. When he collected it, she collected it via Ibrahim. Ibrahim took it from me. He was nearer me and gave it to him. And after discussions, he gave the paper to Audu. Why? Because Audu is the eldest. They don't know anything about my family. I got angry, but there was nothing I can do. I won't fight Audu. Later on, some years later, I heard that Isa died. Audu died. The plot is there. I haven't got it, but I'm alive. Alhamdulillah. Why shouldn't I thank God? God is God. When he did this, my father's grave was just about 3 meters away from the room. You just take 1, 2 steps, you get out of the room, 1, 2 steps, and my father's grave was there. Then years later, they call him Isamobla in Tamil. He's very well known. He worked always on radio for Savannah. You see? So that was what happened. I was there, I was here when they came and said, Audu is dead. Isamobla is dead. Plot that isn't yours. You took it from the rightful owner and gave it to someone. The plot is still there as I load this video, it is there. May God have mercy on me. May God have mercy on you, the viewer, and all of us. Let's try to be guided. Okay. Then on the Monday 6/4, on Monday 6/4, I don't know the exact time now. I see Ibrahim. I went to his house in Tamale. From there to Liman Isamobla. They call him Isamobla, Alaji Isamobla. From Ibrahim, who collected my paper and gave to him, I went to Ibrahim. Then from there to Isamobla. The two will meet with Abdallah and collect father's receipt from Audu for me. The two will meet. And then with another family member, Abdallah, a small boy whom I used to know, they will meet. He was the one who drove them to Nyankpala. I went on my own and collect the receipts from Audu for me. How are they going to collect it? You are in Tambale, you've given the papers to Audu, he's gone away to Domongu with the papers, and will he give them out? A drunkard like him. He used to drink as people used to beat him even. It was a disgrace to the family. Then you don't know anything about all those things. You collected my pay and you gave to him. He also collected it. Later on, I heard that his children even wanted to sell the plot. And somebody told the buyer or the prospective buyer, this plot is not for sale. And so the fellow didn't buy it. So you see, the truth is there. Tiny piece of land that somebody who has bought went and left. And I am going to go and leave it. If Audu had paid, he would go and leave it. You see, Samubla was taking advantage of things. The main house too, he had brought his son from Tamale to stay there and go to the university there in Nyankpala. There was an extension of the university there in Nyankpala. So he was taking advantage of Fatih and others. Me, he couldn't. Either he couldn't or he thought even I was crazy and I wouldn't bounce back to life. You see, Nigerians say long throat, long throat. Now he died. Audu died. I thank God I'm alive. And I ask for forgiveness and may God redirect me if I'm wrong for coming out with these things. For me, I'm afraid of God. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Sufficient is God, and an excellent guardian he is. Yes, for me, sufficient is God, and He's an excellent guardian. May He continue to guard me. Mm. Okay, 70. And as I said, look at this. If you read the scriptures, you will see that no, some theologians and historians told us, wrote that John the Baptist and Christ Jesus, were childhood friends. And when they were growing up, they said they didn't have any house. No, they didn't need a home. They were just from their no house, no money, nothing. They were friends. They were friends because Zachariah had taken care of Mary when Mary's father Imran died. By laws, it was found that Zachariah was the rightful person to take care of her. Zachariah's wife, Ishyaah, was the aunt of Mary. Some said she was the sister of Virgin Mary. Some said she was the aunt of Virgin Mary. In other words, either the brother of Imran or the daughter of Imran. You see, taking care of them. And so, Jesus Christ, after giving birth by Mary, was there with John the Baptist, who is Zachariah's biological son. And we were friends moving together and said they didn't have any home. And look how we are scrambling for pieces of land. And look how we die and leave them. We don't see those things. Dying and leaving them, no, we don't see. But scrambling for them, we see. And we love it. So maybe God is redirecting me somewhere to put this, to remember these things. May God have mercy on me. Let's see. Oh, I think Wednesday 15. Okay, viewers, I think we stop here and then continue later. I will mark where we stopped. And that was Wednesday. When we come, we are going to start with yes, we've read this one. I've read this one. I see Ibrahim, but from there to Liman Isa, and then Audu. Fathers received from Audu for me. They were to, and they wouldn't. So let's stop there, and then let me jot it down. Otherwise, we'll go to 2009, and that was, yes, I've jotted it down so we know where to go. So viewers, we will stop here, and may God bless you and myself, and pray for me. I think prayers are more important than property. Properties, people have built skyscrapers and they've died and left them. People have private jets, cars, and whatnot. So much, and they've died and left them. King Solomon had lots of property. He died and left them. And what became of them? His kingdom was divided into two. His own child and another tribe. And the property was just dissipating like that. So I think we should pray for something for the belly. I get worried when I don't eat. Yes, because that's what belongs to me. And indeed to all of us. Food. When you die, you eat, you go with your food. Even if there is still food in your belly, you are buried with it. And your flesh, everything, but not your property. Oh my God. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. May God bless you.